Hi, this is Tanner with Electronics 123, and we're going to get started with the Arduino Inventor series following the first circuit in the Arduino Inventor's kit. If you don't have one, pick one up. We're going to be going through each circuit in the next several months and basically discussing each one individually, how they work and how the code works. So let's get started. In the first circuit, we're starting out very basic. We're just going to try and blink an LED. The wiring's relatively simple. Again, it's in the booklet, and the booklet's available online for the Inventor's kit. But I recommend you pick one up. All the parts and everything that you need to do these projects are available in that kit. So basically, in order to wire up an LED to the Arduino, you'll start out with the Arduino pin. For this particular project, the code talks to pin 13. So pin 13, and then we'll connect that to our LED. So basically, relatively simple circuit. We've got Arduino pin 13 to our LED. We'll need a 330 ohm resistor right here, and then that all connects to ground. Relatively simple. The Arduino's output, I believe, is 5 volts, so we use the 330 ohm resistor to drop that down some so that we're not cooking the LED.
And now we'll take a quick look at the software for the blinking light. I'm here in the Arduino compiler, which is a free download from the Arduino website. That's arduino.cc. I'll put the link at the bottom of the box here. And this is basically where all of your code goes and where the compiler manipulates your code, checks your code to make sure it's working, and then ultimately puts it on the Arduino itself. For the Blink project, the code's available here. You can go to File and Open. And the location of this, it should bring you to this directory first. You'll go to Examples, Basics, Blink, and then the Blink sketch. And that will open this code here. We'll just quickly run over this code. First of all, we'll start out with a couple of comments. They basically just describe how the circuit works. We'll start with the void setup method, and you'll see void setup. Void means nothing. Again, as I said in the previous programming tutorial, void basically means that this method returns no information. We open curly brackets. The only item in here that's important, these are both comments, the only item in here that's important is setting the pin mode for pin 13. And basically we set that to an output. So pin 13, which is the pin that we've connected the positive side of the LED to, is connected to pin 13, and we tell the Arduino that that is an output. And then we close that method. The next method is the void loop, and again, void loop returns no information. We have our open curly brackets here after void loop. We're going to digital write to pin 13 and turn it to high, so basically that lights the LED. And you can see they have a comment here, set LED on. They delay for 1,000, which is 1,000 milliseconds. So if you wanted to make this a longer delay or a shorter delay, this is in milliseconds. 2,000 milliseconds would be 2 seconds, and so on. And then the third line here, digital write again. We write 13 to low, which basically shuts the LED off. You can see set LED off. And then the delay of 1,000 milliseconds again. And basically everything in the void loop, once we reach the last curly bracket of the void loop, we go back to the first curly bracket. So basically any kind of any code that exists here gets run. When it reaches the end of the code, it goes back to the beginning of the code. That's how the loop works. One thing I'll note here, one thing we can change that I frequently do when I program, if you change these pin mode numbers, I don't like to use a number, I like to use an integer, so we'll declare a new integer. We'll call it LED pin. And I think this actually is in the example code with the Inventor's kit. It's this way, but we'll set this to 13. So we've declared that integer, and now I'm going to replace anywhere that I see this 13 with that variable. And please note that it is cap sensitive. And then this way, if we ever want to change our circuit, we only have to change that 13 in one place. And it really comes in handy when we use this pin 1,000 times in our code or whatever. So, alright, that's a basic look over the code. Next thing you'll do is click the verify button up here, which will go through and compile your code and make sure there are no errors. And this usually takes a couple seconds as it basically just sorts through everything and makes sure that everything is going to work okay. And if you get this done compiling and then it was successful, next thing you'll click is with your Arduino and plugged in, this upload button here. You click that, it's going to run the program to the board. You can see uploading to the input-output board. It wants me to tell it which COM port the Arduino is connected to. I think it's COM port 8. This is kind of important. Give that a try.
Once the programming's finished, your Arduino will reboot and you'll notice that the light is blinking.